Hi everybody. If you look around the internet or around places, you can find 1977 Sportsters at a relatively good price. You'll find the XLH and the XLCH and maybe occasionally a Cafe Racer, which is the XLCR. But have you ever heard of an XLT? Now, XLT was a touring edition of the 1977 Sportster. The XLT, as you can see in this picture, came with a windshield, saddlebags, a 3.6 gallon fuel tank from the Super Glide line of bikes, touring handlebars, a larger seat, and they claim it has a higher gear final drive. I have never been able to find what the gearing is supposed to be, where it's in the transmission, is it in the sprockets, where is it at, because I have not found it. Every specification I can find everywhere, all the Sportsters had the same gearing, except for maybe the Cafe Racer. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know much about it. What led me to find out about the XLT is in around 1989, 1990, somewhere along that line, I ended up getting a Sportster that was trashed out. It was beat all to pieces. And I took it and did some work on it and got it going. But to get parts, they would always ask, you know, is it a XLCH? Is it XLH? You know, what's the VIN number? So I give them the VIN number and they'd say, we don't have that in our catalog. Throughout the years, Sportsters has had a touring model, but they did not have their own VIN designation. They were just an add-on to the regular Sportster. Now, the XLT in 1977 was basically a regular Sportster with the added on windshield, larger tank, and all that. Since sales were bad for Harley Davidson during that period, and the XLTs did not sell all that well, a lot of dealerships stripped the touring package off and sold it as a regular Sportster without the saddlebags, windshield, and all that. So to find out if you have a true XLT, look at your VIN number. The first two numbers should be 2G. That designates a touring model. So even the Harley Davidson didn't have a lot of information on this bike. I seen a letter online from the gentleman. He had one. And he had written them a letter, and they wrote him back saying that they could not find any pricing info on it. They couldn't find a lot of it about it in their catalogs. They did run across a brochure for their overseas sales with it. There are some articles online from past magazines during the time reviewing the XLT Sportster. There was some speculation it was made as a police bike for police departments. I guess there's been one confirmed case of one being in service out east somewhere as a police bike. Sportsters had the iron head engine. Because of the iron cylinders, when I got it, I had to replace the shift lever because somebody had apparently wrecked it, broke it or something, and it was homemade. I replaced the couple of the foot pegs, the rubbers on all the foot pegs. The XLH was electric start, the XLCH was kick start, so the electric starts had to have the bigger battery. Of course, the touring was an electric start bike. The Sportsters had single disc brakes on the front The XLCR, the Cafe Racer, had dual disc on the front. They all had drum brakes on the rear. They were a wet clutch system. Mine, I had to repair the generator a couple of times. It never was all that great. So recently I got what they say is the last generator you'd ever have to buy for this bike. It is a Cycle Electronics Incorporated, and it has the generator, regulator, and everything built all into one. It was real easy to wire up, and so far it's worked great for me. It's kept my battery charged. They did leave the original voltage regulator on there, not wired in or anything, just because it's chrome and it looks pretty. The Sportster, like I said, had an iron head engine, and it was a 1000 cc. Actually, it was like 997.3 or something like that. It's supposed to put out 61 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 52 pounds of torque at 3,800 RPM. They had a 4-speed transmission and point ignition system. Now, I have seen online where they said the ignition system was electronic. That's not true. They did not come out with electronic ignition until the next year. The original had a 2-to-1 exhaust. Mine, when I got it, was dual exhaust like this. I had to replace these pipes, but when I got it, like I said, it was trashed out and it did have dual exhaust. All the other metal is original. My bike was blue, and in 1977 you could get vivid black, brown, red, blue, which this one was, and they had 15 XLTs that were charcoal silver with Confederate flags on the tank and an emblem on the front fender similar to what the Confederates wore on their caps. Those bikes did not sell very well. Of course, I put these saddlebags on recently. I've replaced the turn signals because when I got it, the turn signals were ripped off. I replaced the mirrors with the Golden Eagle ones with the gold eagles on them. And of course, I put the sissy bar on there. The seat looks like the one that was on it when I got it, so I don't know if that seat is the seat that came out similar to what's on the Touring or just the regular Sportsters. I suspect it's just a regular Sportster seat. I have replaced all the controls and stuff on the handlebars. The master cylinder, I have replaced the master cylinder, all that, but everything is the same as what originally came off of it. This has the 3.6 gallon tank, which was the Super Glide tank from that era. The hard saddlebags that came on it were off an FLH. These came out of the factory. I'm pretty sure these are original handlebars that came on this XLT. The Touring handlebars, they look different than what came on the other Sportsters. The one thing about my engine, after I got it, I did take the cylinder heads off and the jugs and sent them to a shop. They had to bore them out 40 thousandths, and it does have oversized pistons, oversized valves, and all that in it. So I believe this is probably closer now to a 1200 cc engine as a 1000. So this old bike was pretty trashed out when I got it. I got it looking better. Until I found out about the XLT, I never knew it originally was supposed to have windshield saddlebags and all that with it. But it's been a good bike. I really like it. Of course, I've rebuilt it, went through it, and painted it myself and everything. So I have a lot of sentimental attachment to it. So if you happen to have a 1977 Sportster XLT, or see a good deal on one or anything like that, be sure and let me know. I'd be interested to know all about them. If you know more about this bike than I do, or some facts that I don't know, maybe the gearing on the transmission, something like that, or the sprocket or whatever, let me know. I'd be really interested to find out all I can about it. So, hope you learned something a little bit about the Sportster, 1977 Sportster XLT, and hopefully I can learn more about it as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.